Hi family!
Hi, fam.
So I actually have a minimalist video for you guys this week, but since the topic was so hot, I actually also already filmed a video that is going to relate the last video to my commitment to health and diet video. But since so many different questions and comments are coming up on the when veganism doesn't work video, I thought I would just sit here and run through the comments and sort of just clarify some things and talk with you guys, because it's so difficult for me to sum up my entire 10-year journey here on this video. But for those of you guys that are interested in understanding what's going on more, and just because you might be reading through the comments and wondering, well, you know, has she done this, or like what's been going on, I figured I would film this video and quite possibly not upload the other video. So before I get started, I want to say thank you guys so much for all your thoughts and your perspectives. I think it is so beautiful that every single one of you are willing to share your experiences, your journeys, helpful tips and thoughts that you might think can help me, as well as just your ideas. And even though not everybody agrees, I think that's the beauty of perspective. Like, we all don't know, and I'm not perfect and nobody's perfect. And in being able to talk to you guys and you guys sharing it with me, it gives me so much different perspectives, and that's what allows me to eventually grow and learn. So thank you guys so much for sharing your love and speaking up out there. As I said before, I am a seeker of truth. I don't seek to be right. I don't seek to know it all. And I also want to let you guys know that at the end of the day, I'm fully responsible for everything that comes into my life. That's something that I really truly believe in. And so I want to make sure that you guys don't think that I'm blaming veganism or a plant-based diet whatsoever. Even on the course that I'm on, nothing much has changed, except for that I have been incorporating some meats into my diet. So pretty much everything has stayed the same, and it has made a huge difference and impact in not only the way that I'm able to function on a daily basis, but also in how my body is able to recover and sleep. So at the end of the day, I'm completely responsible for taking the pills. I'm responsible for wanting some quick fix weight loss and crashing my adrenals. I'm responsible for not going to a doctor in the first place who could have identified the adrenal fatigue and showed me where my hormone balances were off. I'm responsible for not doing more research before getting pregnant the first time and trying to force and impose a specific or certain idealistic diet on myself that was causing harm to not only myself, but to my baby during pregnancy. And I'm responsible for getting myself out of it so that I can be healthy and happy and 100% available for my family and the people around me who need me, and so that I can continue to pursue my passion and add more value to the world. So everything at the end of the day is my responsibility. My goal in sharing my journey with you guys is to have a continuation of the story, and that's so you guys get all the information out there. For me, I had such high hopes, and I still have such high hopes. It's so hard for me to detach from the notion that, well, maybe if this gets fixed, I can go back and try it again, or try to figure out. I still want to do live blood tests, and it just depends on budget wise how much it's going to cost. And if I really want to impose my body back into the state that it was in, get it tested, then go back to recovery mode, get it tested again, to just simply see what the hell is up and why my body is responding the way that it is. That's the type of person that I am. I am a nutrition health junkie, and I've done so much for myself over the last 10 years. Rather than trust somebody blindly who says, hey, take these quick fix fat loss steroid supplements and all your worries will be gone, I went into health and diet and nutrition because I wanted to fix myself. And initially I studied metabolism, and now I'm into yoga and naturopathic holistic nutrition. And so I am a studier and a researcher. I don't like hearing one thing and liking the sound of it without understanding the full perspective openly and completely honestly. And even when I feel like I find something that is true for me, because the idea of a 100% meatless diet was so true for me for all these years. And even though I got in trouble with my pregnancy, I never blamed it on that diet. I never thought that that was like the deficiency that was holding me back or where I was going wrong. It was just never a question in my mind. And I never even understood adrenal fatigue until last year. I finally started getting tests and talking to different doctors and getting multiple tests to completely understand from a full spectrum where I'm coming from and what I'm doing wrong. Now, I really wanted to film this because I wanted to address some of the things that you guys have said. And I feel like a lot of things have been very, very valuable and also very, very legitimate in thoughts and opinions in the approach to this, many of which I 100% preached the same exact thing to myself for years. So the first one that I actually pinned up temporarily is fresh cut greens. Went back to my commitment to health video and pulled out some things that I said, such as I've spent the last 10 years trying to be perfect and doing what's right for my body. But in the commitment to my health video, I said the truth of the matter is I'm not doing the best that I can. In fact, this is an area that I often neglect because I can get away with it. Quote, I know exactly where the line is that I can push before crossing over and causing real damage. And in the past month and a half, I've been eating like crazy, like lots of processed foods and prep meals for the last month. So it's interesting because she's 100% right in that I felt that way when I filmed that video. And one thing that I learned through the adrenal fatigue is if you overtax your adrenals too much, it doesn't matter how healthy your diet is, your body is going to want and crave what is the most efficient and what it needs right now. And when I filmed that video, we had just gotten done moving from Hawaii to Florida. And not only did we move from Hawaii to Florida, I had to get all my work done ahead of time, and then I was out of a home for a month, and so I was going through a lot of changes. And so in that last month, yes, I had been eating more processed foods. But in this video where I say I've spent the last 10 years trying to be perfect, what I mean by this is that 90% of the time, or even 80% of the time, if I want to be more accurate, I'm very aware of my macro and micronutrients. I know what I have to eat and what I have to do to keep my body in complete balance. And I argue for myself that that's why I haven't been bedridden despite the fact that I'm at level 3 and I don't make any cortisol during the day. And that's why I can still work out, because all these things where people say, you need to stop stressing out, you need to get rest, it's a top priority, all these things of what's important and improving the pattern of adrenal fatigue, it's been something that I have done for years and years and years. I'm really lucky in that I don't have to work full time. I work for myself and I can work part-time. I find that it really sucks because if I do book myself for 2 full days of work, I spend the rest of the week having to relax. I can't even work full-time if I want to because my body is so physically taxed. And over the course of the years in trying to refine the process on a meatless, plant-based diet, there have been moments of weakness, and these moments of severe weakness, typically every few months or so, where I start to indulge in raw cakes, gluten-free cookies, sweet treats, and more prepped food. And if you understand the pattern of adrenal fatigue, it makes so much sense why that happens. And so naturally, I just blame myself because I believe 100% that we are in full control and responsible for all the results of our lives. Like, it's just something that I believe, even if it's something that you don't see coming from left field, it's there to teach you a lesson, it's there for a purpose, and it can be a positive one. So what I just think is that I must be addicted or not doing so well because I can go for 3 to 6 months really good, and then I always have like a 1 month where I just super indulge and freak out and eat all this food. And on top of it, I can't even get my ass out of bed to work out. Like, God, I must be so lazy. I must be doing something wrong. And that's just typically how I am. I don't like giving anybody or anything a reason. If something is occurring and it's not right, it's my responsibility to fix it and it's my fault. And I think that in this last video, what I was trying to portray to you is at what point do you get to where you're continuing to refine on the same journey, where you're continuing to seek questions without being open to anything else, and it has caused a lot of challenges and damage to my emotional well-being, to my family and the time they get with me, to my business. And I don't get to feel like I'm truly living 100% as me. And so I hope that connects the two together. And that is also why I filmed the video before in connecting that video to this video so that you guys understand that continuation. It's been 10 long years of this. I haven't just gotten adrenal fatigue and just decided it was adrenal fatigue and just decided to blame it on a vegan diet that doesn't work. That's not how I play my game, and I sure hope that's not how you guys receive the information I'm trying to give here to you. And if it is, I really hope that you guys understand I'm not saying that veganism is a bad thing. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm merely explaining where my journey is. And I understand most of you guys don't know me personally. Most of you guys haven't journeyed with me for the last 10 years of my life. You don't know what I've struggled with. You don't know what I've done to try to accomplish a different result. You don't really know the level of integrity or motivation or the type of personality that I am. This is not just some lighthearted thing that I'm just sort of blaming and I just kind of dabbled in, and now that I'm just kind of making up some sort of excuse or some sort of blame or reason as to why I can't eat a meatless diet or why I don't want to. It's not about that. I'm actually very sad and very frustrated and upset, and it's still very hard for me to be really accepting of where this is at. So anyways, before I get into that space, I just wanted to clarify that with you guys. And I know you guys who are on the same page or like who feel me, you feel me, and everybody else, you're more than welcome to, continue to preach your truth and what you feel like might add value to everyone else. So a lot of you guys have been suggesting reading different articles and looking into different doctors, following different YouTubers, and I really don't, it's one of those things that are really tough to say, but I know a lot of these people personally, and I've researched a lot of these things. A lot of them have really legitimate things to say that have actually helped improve my situation. The point of all of this is that while things have improved from where they were in the past, they always either seem to plateau or not have longevity. And when I try things, I try them for months. I try them for years. It's not like I do it for a month or two and I go and test, and I'm very meticulous about how I like to do stuff. It's just how I am, and that's just the type of personality that I am. And so a lot of these people, not everybody, but I know some people who say certain things, yet they struggle with the same energy and mood situation similarly to mine. And some of these people actually coming to me asking me what I'm doing for adrenal fatigue, because they know that I have had adrenal fatigue, and yet I still seem to have all this energy to run a business and to do my workouts. And really at the end of the day, it's just because I have gotten really good at managing stress. It's something that I've learned in the peaceful birth of Elevie, in facilitating and cultivating a really stress-free environment. And that's something that's super important to us, to always have a balance of having fun, having time for myself, which is why those of you guys who follow me on social media see that I'm in yoga every single weekend and just doing fun stuff with people that I really love, and just keeping life what it's really meant to be, which is connecting and having meaningful things and spending that time being creative. So there are a lot of suggestions about stress reduction and making sure that you're getting plenty of rest and relaxation. And that is 100% what we talked about in our 5 areas of health. Everything in the 5 areas of health has been super, super helpful in taking me from level 4 to level 3. And I would venture to say if I tested my hormones now, which I'm due for another one, I'd probably be closer to level 2, because I really feel myself coming out of it, especially after making these dietary changes over the course of the last couple weeks. So some of you guys talk about making sure you get enough greens throughout the day. That is super important. I consume anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds minimum of greens, and that's, I just know because I have the 1 pound spinach boxes in my fridge. but probably a lot more than that if you include like the broccoli and asparagus and all the different things that we mix in with our dinners and our veggie bowls. You guys also talk about other things like complete aminos and complete fats, and that is something that I've also dabbled with, both in like flax seeds and like plant-based fats, certain supplements that friends of mine have encouraged me to try, as well as staying on a plant-based diet, but also dabbling in fish oils, like omega complete fish oils and krill oils and those sort of things. And none of those seem to really make a difference the way that consuming the meat has in the last couple weeks. I don't know why, and I will clearly say now that I do say it's the protein. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said before, until I get like live blood tests done when I'm in my fatigue state versus when I'm eating meat and like in my recovery state, as I call it, I won't really know. So yes, there could be a potential damage that has occurred to the supplements in my body that keeps me from being able to absorb protein. Yes, there could be like missing gut bacteria or just something different or off with my body that potentially is causing me to not be able to absorb what it is I need 100% from the plants. And that's something that I am entirely interested in finding out here throughout the course of my journey. So stick around for that if you're really interested. But I just wanted to clarify that you guys could be absolutely right. It could be that, but I'm really pretty good at making sure that my greens, including my supplements, B12, iron, calcium, my Ds, as well as everything else that I mentioned, anything that you can look up, it's probably there because I'm a meticulous person. It's just in my nature, and many of you guys may not even understand that. You might think I'm stressing out too much about it or whatever. It's just how I am. That's just how it goes. And so if I wasn't doing that, it feels more stressful because I'm not aware or feeling like I know exactly what's going on. So I like to be 100% aware as much as possible. So some of you guys also are asking, am I a type O blood type? Sorry. Stuttering. Yes, I am an O positive, and so is my family, and so is my husband. We're all O positive. I know supposedly it was like a heavy meat. You know, I think the blood type, just my perspective, is like a great place to start. I think they're tendencies, but I don't think they have to be strict. I don't think it has to be perfect. And ultimately, as a health and nutrition advocate, when I have clients who ask me for things, I never try to tell anybody they have to or should do something. Every body is different. Genetics play a role, environment plays a role, stress levels, mental health, perspectives of life, those all play a role. What goes on in your daily activity, what kind of chemicals you release in your brain and in your body, habitual things from the past or like moving forward, all these variables play a huge role in generating a specific formula that ends in a result. And so it's like baking a cake. You can bake a cake with almond flour, wheat flour, with yeast, without yeast. You can bake a vegan cake or a completely dairy egg yeast cake. Like, you can bake a cake in many different ways. You get a little bit of different result. At the end of the day, you get a cake. And ultimately, I look at us like that. At the end of the day, we're human bodies. We breathe, we live, we exist, we see, we function all in the same way because we're the same species. But like, how our bodies get to where it's at or our predisposition to that and all the factors that weigh with that or against that, I mean, that's just a whole messy formula of like going back and dissecting every little thing. So I don't really believe in a one all fits all. I do believe that certain things like your genetics or whatever may sway you in this direction. So do I believe a plant-based diet is the healthiest diet on the planet for each and every single person? I'm not that finite. I don't like to be that finite necessarily because ultimately I don't know. But do I think it could or would benefit each and every person out there? I would say most likely, yes. And do I believe that cutting meat out of your diet would benefit most people out there? Yeah, I actually believe that it would benefit a lot more than just most people out there. It would benefit our planet, it would benefit the animals, it would benefit so much. And I think that's the beauty of it, and that's why it made so much sense. So at the end of the day, when it comes to blood type, I'm aware of it. Most of all, I think what is undisputable is when you actually take the blood out of your body, have it tested, and whether or not you decide to listen to what your doctor analyzes it at, I always suggest getting tested at multiple times from multiple different places and getting the opinion of multiple different people, as well as getting your own research so that you form your own conclusion. And that's just the way that I like to approach things. It is really good for me to hear both sides of the stories. You know, I could deal without the heat or the aggression or people taking it personal, but that's not on me. That's on if anybody, wants to feel the way that they want to feel about a certain topic or how anybody does something, that's fine. Everybody's entitled to those feelings. So I like hearing all sides of the stories because it gives me a complete picture and it poses certain thoughts or perspectives that I may not have thought about. So I always recommend that, especially if you really do want to learn what's good for you and all that, stay really open and always be open to more information. You can always, battery's dying. You can always take everything with a grain of salt. And the more that you hear and the more that you learn, the more you actually form a complete picture because you get more puzzle pieces and it just becomes a bigger, more complete picture for you. So I've been talking a really long time. You guys have so many good things, and if you guys are searching or you're struggling with some things, I would super recommend a lot of what the people say here. I think pretty much every single person who has commented has had something very legitimate to say, and it's obvious that every single person has had different experiences and have come from different places and has found different results and different things that work for them. And I think that's what's really important, in our world, and to create peace and to be loving, conscious beings. Unconditional love comes without condition. And I think that when we want to promote being more conscious and being more aware, we do that in first starting with ourselves and treating others the same. And that's the one thing that I want to say, especially for those of my friends who are really close to me, and you guys are all such powerful lights and amazing influencers out in the world today. Like, I'm just so blessed for you guys, and for those of you guys that follow and have just been like friends via the keyboard here. It's so amazing to see just your love and your openness and your faith in the world, your faith in life, your faith in love. And that love is ultimately what exists, and what, no matter what crazy shit happens in life, it's ultimately what prevails. And so that is a really beautiful thing to see with you guys. And I hope that this video has been a little more enlightening and just a little bit more complete in my entire journey and in your understanding, and hopefully that helps you find more answers for yourself if that's what you're searching for. So thank you again for being part of this. I don't know now if I'm going to upload the other video, but I will see you Monday with the last video of our minimalist house tour. So thank you for being here. I will keep you up to date with my recovery and what's going on, and I fully 100% am still down for Marin's 12-week commitment to health, but I have to focus on recovering my adrenals first. So thank you again, and I will see you guys on Monday. Yeah, enjoy your weekend. Ciao.